Now, one of the ironies is that Slumdog Millionaire actually released in India today almost 2 or 3 months after it was released in America and then in London, and now it's in Mumbai and the premiere is going on even as we speak. But we promised to debate this in greater length a little while earlier this week. And here is the debate subject for the day today. Are we touchy about showing poverty? On a day when Slumdog has got 10 nominations, A.R. Rahman has got 3 nominations, and there is another nomination for an individual Indian in the sound mixing category, that it has been said that an Indian director would never have been able to make a movie like Slumdog Millionaire. You agree with that?
Well, I think it is absurd to make a statement like this. I mean, Indian filmmakers have dealt with the grim Indian reality way back in time. And don't forget that this was a country which gave the world cinema a man like Satyajit Ray. And there was this kind of a debate even way back in 70s when we joined the movies that Mr. Ray portrays the poverty of India and wins accolades from the international audiences. Because there's always been this line of thinking that there is a part of the industry which panders to the illusion making a need in man, and the other which spotlights the reality of the nation.
Okay, so Justin, you want to take that first. This movie has been described as movies in which people have been tortured to unconsciousness. There is utter misery, depravity, and they say it might be fun to a Westerner, but will people in Mumbai find it fun to watch?
Listen, to quote from Vikas Sarup, who's written the book, he says, "Murder is messy, but truth is messier." Now, if you are afraid to look at truth in the face, really you're not worth anybody's money. The Slumdog Millionaire is a whitewash of Bombay. It is 10 times worse, as you and I know. So, and what is more about it? It's taken those ingredients and fired it with the imagination to something wonderful. I saw it at the world premiere in Toronto in September, and it got a standing ovation.
Kalpana, is this the reality of Dharavi? You haven't seen the movie, of course.
I have not seen the movie,
so
but
so
I don't know. But I think this is really the wrong question. First of all, this is a film, for heaven's sakes. It's a story, and the setting is Dharavi. And if it was a documentary, I can see that we could discuss whether, it's true or not true.
But are you saying, Kalpana, that films don't set stereotypes? They don't, they
course.
Communicate nothing? I mean, somebody watching it, say in Denver or in Colorado, watching this movie, this is the impression of India that they're going to carry away with them.
But why? This is India. This is India also.
This is also India,
yeah.
But I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
No, and the point is that there are other films that have been made, Bollywood films also, which show some other part of India. But the reality, as Jerson says, is actually much worse probably than what is shown in Slumdog Millionaire. In fact, I want to tell you this one scene that everybody keeps talking about, where the young Jamal apparently jumps into a toilet and comes out covered with shit and then runs to take Amitabh's autograph. 1 in every 2 Indians defecates in the open. Because there are not enough toilets, there is not enough sanitation. Come on, why are we fooling ourselves? This is the reality of India.
Kabir Bedi, you've been part of so many movies in the past. You've been one of the first Indians to step foot in Hollywood. But this was not the impression one had earlier. One would never locate a movie in India.
Well, firstly, I think we should all join in congratulating all of them for the 10 nominations they got, because it's a great achievement for a film which is largely Indian in its content and talent and expression. That's one thing. Secondly, this whole debate of poverty being used in cinema as a means of success in the West was really triggered recently by this blog by Amitabh, where he mentioned this point. And I found that to be extremely petty of him to say this, because, instead of joining everybody in congratulating all the filmmakers and the Indians associated with it for the success they had with the Critics Awards, with the Golden Globe Awards, and now with these nominations, you go back to these tired arguments, Satyajit Ray also exploited Indian poverty. I mean, are we to blame Mehboob Khan for making Mother India? Are we to blame Balraj Sahni for making Do Bigha Zameen? There are films that have
I think the argument is being put, and I've got Imtiaz Ali also joining us in a bit, but I want to put this to you, Mahesh Bhatt. The argument is put is how much is too much. There's nothing wrong with showing poverty. Nobody wants to put a shroud over your faces and say, let's not show Indian poverty, let's only show the malls, somewhere on Pali Hill. But that's not the point. The point is how much is too much. And they said, just like another movie, you know, A Thousand Splendid Suns, this was an argument made in Times Online. It said it's obsessed with showing rape and violence against women in so much detail that rape and violence become a sensual feast. And assault on the senses so strong that it cannot be not be noticed. And in a way, what Danny Boyle also does, by showing poverty in its extreme form, is make the West stand up and take notice. Mahesh.
Well, somebody asked me, how come you guys have not made a film on Dharavi? I said, look, a guy like Sudhir Mishra did make a film on Dharavi, but unfortunately he made it within the framework of what was considered as an alternate cinema. But I said, we live in Dharavi, so we do not choose to make films about Dharavi, because let's face the fact that, like you have temples which provide respite and escape routes for the suffering millions, our cinema halls are like Disneylands. They are mood conditioners. That's an audiovisual fix that the consumer wants to take. And I mean, our ancestors were very clear. They were never deluding themselves that they were in the reality capturing business. Yes, pain and poverty may work as an aphrodisiac for the fluent Westerner, and maybe it makes him, turns him on. But that's the window he chooses to look from. And I have nothing against that, and nothing is too much. No. I don't think you can qualify the limits of expression. No. I mean, you dare not step on somebody's toes and say, you cannot say this, if you really believe in that goddess called freedom of expression.